The Portuguese, first Europeans, arrived in 1471. They came to the land now called Ghana. They called it the Gold Coast for its rich gold deposits. Trading began with gold, ivory and spices exchanged. However, a darker trade soon followed, the slave trade. Europeans built forts along the coast. These became centers of trade, including the trade of enslaved Africans. The slave trade brought immense suffering. Families were torn apart and millions were shipped across the Atlantic. This marked a dark period in Ghana's history. The British, over time, became the dominant European power in the region. They claimed control over the coastal areas. By the 19th century, Britain had established a firm colonial presence. They called it the Gold Coast Colony. Colonial rule brought significant changes to Ghana. Traditional systems of governance were weakened. British laws and administration were imposed. This often led to conflicts and misunderstandings. The British introduced cash crops like cocoa. This transformed the agricultural landscape. However, it also led to dependence on European markets. Traditional crafts and industries declined as people were forced to work on these plantations. Education and healthcare systems were introduced. This brought some benefits, but they were often limited to certain groups. The colonial system created a divide favoring those who assimilated into European culture. Despite the oppression, the spirit of the Ghanaian people remained strong. Resistance to colonial rule took various forms, from peaceful protests to armed uprisings. Early resistance movements were often led by traditional rulers. They fought to protect their land and their people's way of life. However, these were often suppressed by the superior military power of the British. After World War II, a new generation of leaders emerged. Inspired by Pan-Africanism and the principles of self-determination, they demanded an end to colonial rule. Kwame Nkrumah emerged as a key figure in the fight for independence. He formed the Convention People's Party, advocating for self-rule. Nkrumah's charisma and powerful message resonated with the people. The CPP organized protests and strikes. They demanded self-government now. The British, facing growing pressure both internally and internationally, finally agreed to negotiate. On March 6, 1957, Ghana achieved its independence, becoming the first sub-Saharan African country to do so. This historic event marked a turning point in African history, inspiring other nations to fight for their freedom. Ghana's independence was a beacon of hope, not just for Africa, but for all colonized people. It showed that colonial rule was not inevitable and that freedom could be achieved through unity and determination. Ghana's journey serves as a reminder of the human cost of colonialism, the importance of self-determination, and the enduring power of the human spirit in the face of adversity.